The magical run continues. 3 appearances in the last 4, and finally, his second Lombardi to hold. In a points explosion only dampened by the NFL's incompetence, the Eagles successfully pulled a Tom Brady, deflating the air out of the ball and keeping the Chiefs off the field. A mixture of power running and superb play by Jalen Hurts limited them to just 8 possessions. And even then, the Chiefs still scored 38 points. It was truly an offensive masterclass put on by Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes. Let's see how they got it done. The best offensive schemer of the 21st century, you just knew that Andy Reid would be able to carve open this defense. When playing their base zone, the Eagles are heavy users of cover 3 and cover 6, of which Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs have just seen way too much of to bother them. The weak areas in these defenses are towards the flats, gaps in the underneath levels, and the midfield hole presented when the free safety bails to take anything deep. And this is exactly where the Chiefs attacked all game long, paper-cutting Philly before the pass rush was even done slipping. More on that later, don't you worry. Here, the Eagles are playing split cover 6 that converts to man on the solo side when the Chiefs motion. Andy Reid knows their tendencies and knows this is coming, bringing Kelce in motion to get him a free release and then bringing him across the zones into space on the deep over. 87 versus zone is a cheat code, and he has the option and smarts to bend his route to where the space lies, getting wide when the safety slips. This worked in sync with the play on the next drive, helping perfectly tee up a counter. Again, the Eagles are in that cover 6 look, and this time it's Kadarius Toney in motion. MVS goes long to drag the safeties with him. The flat has to sprint down to neutralize Toney in space, and this leaves Kelce one-on-one with TJ Edwards in a hell of a lot of space. They can bump him off the release, rightfully getting a shot off the line, and Kelce will use it to get a better angle and inside leverage to sell the deep over. Seeing this, Edwards hustles to undercut, only for Travis to stick his foot in the turf and cut back outside on the sail route. This slip was caused by the juke this time, and Kelce's got another big chunk through the middle. Reid noticed a great wrinkle to exploit on the goal line too, picking on a pass-off coverage common around the league. To deal with the threat of the speedsters in motion, many teams in the modern NFL will pass off this fast jet between the corner and free safety around the goal line, not allowing them to get to the edge fast. In the open field, when this forces wide runs for just a couple of yards, it's a positive play for the defense. But around the goal line, that's the difference between a score and a stop. Knowing this is how the Eagles run their defense, Reid starts Toney out wide before having Mahomes bring him in motion. You can see Darius Slay call out to CJ Gardner-Johnson, who takes a few steps downhill to start his pursuit. However, Kadarius will slam on the brakes right as the ball is snapped, motioning back out to the flat. Slay is all the way at the hashes, and Toney has no player within 10 yards of him. Getting the ball back in an almost identical location the very next drive, the Chiefs come back to this motion and catch the Eagles with it again. This time, it's Sky Moore as the motion man, and Philly will shift over with the start of the motion, but won't pass it off this time. However, Avonte Maddox is still not ready, getting himself caught way behind the play, and Sky is walking in for his first ever NFL touchdown. Not a bad way to open the account. So it turns out, after we made this video, Mahomes actually said that they messed up the formation and Sky Moore was in the wrong place. With Toney on the line, I'm assuming they were trying to run the exact same play as previously, with Sky on the right side. But great improvisation with the clock running down. This great play design and heavy use of motion continued over to the run game, where the Chiefs were able to outrush the Eagles and keep the defense respecting the run. Sky Moore is the motion man again here. And with 83 also coming near side on the trap block, the linebackers stay static, trying to work out the direction of the play. Edwards is frozen to the spot, getting caught way too inside, and the confusion of the motion, combined with great work from Creed Humphrey, gets a seal outside on Gardner-Johnson, allowing Pacheco's fast feet to scamper him through the gap for a big gain. With all the slipping and the struggling to keep up with misdirection, the Chiefs called a few counters in the second half, a good decision against a team struggling to track the ball. On a crucial third down, Andy Reid went old school, continuing the misdirection on this one. Noah Gray's motion floods the right edge, forcing the Eagles to shift this way, but with a pirouette, the ball will go to Jerick McKinnon lined up at fullback. The Eagles get caught inside, and McKinnon only needs 1, but gets 14. And going back even further in play design, Andy Reid brings out one for all the old heads. Running from split backs under center, something you almost never see in the modern game, the Chiefs will run the old Lombardi sweep, pulling both guards to create an alley to run through, and having everybody else angle block away to allow Pacheco to get to the edge. There's nobody outside, so Tooney smartly looks for work and seals off Bradbury, allowing Pacheco a clear edge for the crucial third down. Speaking of Tooney, we of course need to talk about the phenomenal play of the Chiefs' offensive line. They not only bulldozed them off the line in the run game, but kept Mahomes clean throughout, allowing just 7 pressures and 0 sacks on 33 dropbacks. Against this defensive line, that's damn impressive. The interior was solid as a rock, handling Hargrave as expected when matched up on the left side, allowing Joe Tooney, the All-Pro, to go one-on-one, winning the matchup. The tackles also played very well. Andrew Wiley received a lot of the criticism for the Super Bowl loss to the Buccaneers, some of which was absolutely fair, but mostly overblown. However, in this game, Wiley locked up Reddick, putting his ass in the turf on more than one occasion. With all this time to operate in, Patrick Mahomes was on his usual bullshit, carving open the Philly defense with dime after dime. Motioning into the stack here, the Eagles stupidly put just a single man on Travis Kelce, and Mahomes is gonna take this shot every single time. The line creates a perfect pocket, and Mahomes slings a beautiful touch pass over the shoulder to his boy Kelce. There's plenty of time created again by the line here, but this time the Eagles do a good job to lock it shut in man. Feeling Josh Sweat about to break round the edge, Mahomes extends the play rolling right, and look at the power he's able to generate, throwing an absolute bullet crossbody right to his man. And here's more ridiculous arm power. The pocket does well, but Hargrave wins this rep against Tooney, winning the leverage battle and slowly collapsing the pocket with his strength. With Tooney in his lap, Mahomes can't step into it, but still throws an absolute laser to Juju, throwing its sidearm to get around the block. However, this has got to be the most ridiculous throw of them all. With nothing open and the pocket squeezing tight around him, Mahomes doesn't lose his cool, making sure to step up, keeping his eyes upfield. Big boy Jordan Davis looks like he's got him down for the sack, but Mahomes somehow gets this out to Kelce, allowing him to match the brilliance with a superb shoestring catch. Even if you play perfectly, he finds a way to break your defense. In our preview video, we talked about the importance of treating Mahomes as a scrambler. Well, the Eagles failed, and Mahomes further punished the coverage for the lack of discipline up front. Here, Reddick rushes way too wide, allowing an escape path for Mahomes, and even with a big slip on the terrible turf, he can get wide, punishing the lockdown coverage with his legs, shaking his hips to get more yards than looks possible. And it was always going to come in big moments too. On the third down, when everything appears to be locked up in the cover one, Mahomes makes sure to stay calm and step through the pocket, taking off when he sees everyone's back to him, pulling off his usual Mahomes nonsense, gaining far more yards than looked rightfully there. Now, we know what a lot of y'all think, but no, the league is not rigged, but damn do the NFL try their very hardest to make their product worse every day. Many players from both sides complain about the state of the turf, and the tape has them all backed up. There are players losing footing left and right on the All-22 cam. Y'all, this is a multi-billion-dollar industry. How is the playing surface not good enough? The call at the end was also just so ticky-tacky, closing a game shut that had the potential for an all-time ending. The problem isn't this being called, it's the inconsistency with which they call and design their rule set. This one wasn't called earlier in the game, and is probably 10 times worse. The NFL needs to properly implement the Sky Judge and use it, rather than half talking to them and occasionally asking for their judgment. A great game plan and a terrific performance by the beefy boys up front put Mahomes in prime position to spin his magic. A perfect 4 for 4 in scoring drives in the second half solidified the 10-point comeback, leading to Mahomes' second Super Bowl MVP and second overall Lombardi trophy. The only question now is, how many more can he get? Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe. You don't want to miss all of our draft profiles coming your way. Take care.